why isn't anybody going into like the medical field? You know, we need more doctors out here. This was what her response was. I don't like school. I don't like school. It's taking too long. I don't want to be in school forever. I want to become an athletic trainer, but that's going to take too long. Guys, this is Professor T.K the Chemist, and I wanted to hop on real quick because I was in the post office yesterday, and this young lady was in line. She was right in line right before me, and she was talking to the lady behind the counter, and the lady was asking her, how are things going with school? What are you majoring in? And she said business administration. So the woman behind the counter said, why isn't anybody going into like the medical field? You know, we need more doctors out here. This was what her response was. I don't like school. I don't like school. It's taking too long. I don't want to be in school forever. I want to become an athletic trainer, but that's going to take too long. Now, mind you, we're in the post office, so you know everybody and their mama coming to the post office to handle their little business, sending off the mail, checking their mailboxes, so you never know who's in line behind you. So while she's talking about this, I'm like, oh, I want to get her, I want to give her some words of wisdom, some words of encouragement. So I waited patiently as she was continuously talking with the lady behind the counter. So then, as the line was going faster, it was almost my turn. So I stepped to her while she had like a quick break to get some of her paperwork together. I said, young lady, let me just tell you, you do need your education, but what's wrong with going to school for the length of time that it takes in order to be whatever you want to do? Here's the thing. You are young. You have nothing but time on your hands. Therefore, that should be the last thought in terms of saying that it takes too long to complete your task of wanting to become this athletic trainer. Doctors have to go to school for 8 and 10 years or whatever in order to become a craft, to develop the craft of working with the body. So you just can't say it's taking too long. Now, this young lady was at least 20, 21 or so. So as she's talking about this, I'm like, frazzled, like, no, this can't be real. But it is real. This is a reality. This is the reality that a lot of our kids are saying it takes too long to become successful. The problem is they see so many things on TV. They see the hip hop artists, the rock stars, the actresses and actors who are successful, and they think it's overnight. There's like a small number of people who are overnight successors, okay? Small amounts of people. You have to go to school if you want to work on somebody's body, work on somebody's car, or work on somebody's house. You can't just think that I'm going to do this overnight, okay? Even hairstylists have to go to school in order to become certified hairstylists. Even barbers have to go to school in order to become barbers. You're not going to just go walk up in somewhere and start cutting on somebody's head or doing somebody's hair, dyeing their hair, perms, relaxers, color. Unless you're in a dorm or, doing it in somebody's house, okay? But if you want to make money and work, let's say, for someone else until you can get on your own feet, you need those papers, that certification in order to become successful, or not, I don't want to say successful, but in order to achieve certain goals in life. Plumbers, electricians, you're not going to have somebody come up in your house that hasn't been certified, okay? If you have somebody come in your house and they're doing electrical work, them jokers need to be certified, okay? They just can't walk up in your house putting in lights and electrical components and not have certification. Even they, too, have to go to the city to get paperwork to work on your home. So for this young lady to say, it's taking too long, I don't want to be in school forever. Girl, get a grip, okay? So I told her the mama in me spoke first, followed by the teacher in me, the educator, okay? I wanted to assure her that she doesn't want to wait until she's our age as parents going back to school. Now, mind you, there's nothing wrong with being 35, 40, 50, 60 years old going back to school, because I know plenty of my students who are of age and they're going back to school. Maybe it's to start a second career. But like I tell them all the time, you're most of the time wiser when you go back to school at a later age in your life. But for her to say it takes too long, that's what got me. A lot of young people are living in a microwave society where they think everything's going to happen overnight, but it doesn't happen overnight. So I just want to tell you, if you're watching this, if you have kids, let them watch this too. Watch it with them. There is nothing that you're going to do if you want to be successful that's going to happen in 90 days, okay? You've got to go to school. Why do you think you got to go to school for 4 years? Like when you graduate, when you go to high school, that's 4 years. Because you still are learning certain skill sets. You're learning how to write the best paper. You're learning how to complete those math problems. You're basically learning critical thinking skills. Now, what you do after high school, that's on you. But there are so many opportunities for young people today than there were back in the day. Okay? So many opportunities for young people today than there were back in the day. The reason I bring this up is because back then when I was in school, I know you probably get tired of hearing that, back in the day, back when I was in school. Well, this is my story. When I was in high school, we had 3 choices. Graduate from high school and either go to work, go to college, or go in the military. You were going to do one of those things. I knew I wanted to go to college. Okay? I wanted to major in chemical engineering. I started off doing that. And I switched over to chemistry. Because at that time, I was wanting to be like Dr. Macy Jameson. So I had in my mind that I was going to be like the next Dr. Macy Jameson, the next astronaut, the next engineer. But I'm glad I quickly learned that that wasn't going to be for me. But instead, I switched over and went straight chemistry. Okay. So although I changed my major, I did not lose any credits because those classes that I took transferred over. Now, for this young lady to say that she doesn't want to pursue athletic training because it's going to take too long, I say this. Anything that you want to do in life, you're going to have to put in the work. You're going to have to put in the work. Even Beyonce puts in the work, okay? She makes her dance moves look easy, but she works tirelessly to get what she's getting. Most of your students who make the honor roll, they're putting in the work. Some, okay, keep in mind, we do have some geniuses out there, okay, who can just look at something for the first time, boom, 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 bam, I got it, okay? I get all of that. But you can't give up on yourself just because it's taking too long. So I left her with these words of encouragement and these words of wisdom, these pearls of wisdom. I said, look here, even if you're taking just one class at a time until you can figure things out, it is okay. Do not think that this is going to happen fast. If anything, it should give you the opportunity to figure out what do you want to do for the rest of your life, or at least a good portion of your life. Long are the days that you can stay on a job for 35 years and retire by the time you're 55 years old. You got people who have to work after 55. That's just the way of the world now. Unless you are doing things early on in life to set yourselves up for success later in life. So, to all you young folks out there, do not give up on your dream. Do not think it's going to take, 2 months to make your dreams come true. You've got to grind. Even rappers, singers, artists, they have to study their craft daily. Okay? Daily. You have to practice daily. If you play a musical instrument, you have to do that daily. If you want to become successful in whatever you do, it's not going to happen overnight. So do you need a college degree in order to become successful? No, you don't. But I will say this, you need some certifications if you want to succeed. So you don't have to go to school for 4 years, but you do need to go to school for at least I would say whatever the program tells you, however long that is. So if you want to go to hair school, barber school, whatever, electrical school, whatever. If they say that it's 18 months, what's wrong with taking 18 months of your time to complete a task, to get a job, to get the job done? Let me say this. If you plan to work for somebody, at the end of the day, depending on what you plan to do, they may even send you to their school to learn their craft. Okay? It's better to pay the price now than later. When you're 30 and 40 and 50 years old, deciding I want to go back to school. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. Look, when I graduated from college, undergrad, it took me 10 years to go back to school to get my master's degree. Okay, so again, that 10-year gap in there, I became a mother. Okay, I was working, teaching, doing all these things. So there was a gap. But I went back to school to earn my master's degree after a 10-year hiatus. So don't let your age stop you. But if you don't have anything else going on right now, no kids, no significant other, take the time to develop you. Develop who you are. And before you know it, that time will zap away. It seemed like it was just yesterday that I was in my first chemistry course in college. Now, I celebrate 25 years of being out of college. So you got to think about, or walking into my first college class. So you've got to think, guys, at the end of the day, it's okay if it takes you 2 or 3 years to earn that degree, to earn that certification. Sometimes you don't know what you want to do, and that's okay. You don't have to always know, but be mindful that if you don't make the decisions for yourself, somebody else will. Peace.